Welcome to Santalan Yoga. For today's class, we're going to treat our body as if it's like a compass. So we're going to explore our pingala and ida sides, our right and our left sides. We're going to explore the east side of our body, the front side, and the west side of our body, the back side of the body, as well as we'll be doing a couple of inversions as well. So exploring bringing the body upside down, right side up. And we are doing this to bring about a sense of wholeness within the body, exploring all aspects of our body as well. At the end of class, we'll also do a pranayama called nadi shoddanah, which is alternate nostril breathing, so exploring different sides of our pranic body as well. Also today I'd like to introduce some chanting, so we will do the shanti path today at the beginning and at the end of class, and I'll bring up the words for the shanti path at the bottom of the screen for you so that you can chant along. All right, so for today's class, you might like to have a strap at one point. You may also like to have a couple of blocks with you if you want to explore a more of a restorative posture, if that's what you're feeling in your body today. So have those nearby if you wish. As always, a blanket as well for shavasana at the class. All right, so we'll start in a comfortable seated position, whichever position is comfortable for you. And we'll start with the shanti path. So rolling the shoulders back and down, nice and comfortable and still, tall through the spine, head and neck, lifting up through the head. And if this is a new practice for you, obviously keeping your eyes open so that you can see the words at the bottom of the screen. If you're familiar with the shanti path, do feel free to close the eyes as you chant. So placing the hands either on the knees or in the lap, whatever feels more comfortable for you. We'll take one breath to prepare, so inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling for the shanti path. Om sa-ha-naa bhavatu, sa-ha-nau bhu-NAK-tu, sa-ha-veer-yam ka-ra-vaa-VA-hai, te-jas dhee-ta-MA-stu, vid-vi-ñhaa-VA-hai. Om shanti, shanti, shaan-tih-hi. Hari Om. Pausing here for a moment to let the chant wash over you. And when you're ready, slowly opening the eyes. Okay, so today we'll start by doing some standing postures. So coming up out of your seat, using a cushion, place it off to one side. Starting at the front of your mat, feet either a fist width apart, or you can bring the feet a bit closer together if that feels more comfortable for you. Going tall through the spine, head and neck, rolling the shoulders back and down, weight even on the front and the backs of the feet. Inhaling, lifting the arms up overhead, interlacing the fingertips, revolving the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling, and placing the backs of the hands on top of the head. As we inhale, we're going to rise up onto our toes, extend the arms up above. As we exhale, releasing down. We'll do this 4 more times, inhaling. In your own time, with your own breath, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Last time, inhaling, exhaling. All right, stepping the feet out to a couple of feet apart so that we're nice and stable, keeping the arms where they are. This time as we inhale, raising the arms up. As we exhale, bending over to the right, extending out through the heels of those hands. Inhaling, back to center, exhaling left. Keep reaching away through the side body. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. We'll do 2 more rounds. Last side. Inhaling back to center. Dropping the arms down at shoulder height, keeping the feet where they are. Inhaling to center, and as we exhale, twisting towards the right, bring the right arm behind into the small back, left hand on right shoulder. Inhaling back to center, exhaling, twisting to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale right. Inhale to center, exhale left. Inhale to center, exhale right. Inhale to center, exhale left. Inhale to center, 2 more rounds. Once more to each side. Inhaling back to center. All right, now it's pretty warm here today. I'm going to take a layer off. All right, coming to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Now we're going to work into doing some sun salutations. So this is where we're exploring our pingala and either sides, our right and left sides. So in this version of sun salutation that I'm going to teach you, we're actually going to split the body in half. So we'll do a right side and a left side. Once we've done a right and a left, that will be 1 round of that sun salutation. So we want to do 6 rounds altogether. So we'll repeat it on the right and the left. So it'll actually end up essentially being 12. So once you're ready, come to the front of your mat. Bringing the hands to the heart center. Pausing here for a moment to prepare for the practice. And when you're ready, inhaling, drawing the arms up overhead. This can be shoulder width apart, or if the shoulders are nice and open, you can bring the palms of the hands together. Looking forward or lifting the chin slightly. As we exhale, hinging from the hips, folding forward, releasing the hands down to the mat. Inhaling, drawing the right leg back, coming down into a low lunge. Rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting up through the chest, lifting the chin up, looking up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, Stepping the left foot back to meet the right, coming back into downward facing dog. Exhaling here. Holding the breath. Bring the torso forward, bending through the elbows, releasing the knees down to the mat, and also releasing the chest and the chin down. Inhaling, drawing the torso forward through the arms, releasing the tummy down to the floor, lifting the head, lifting the chest up, coming up into cobra. So depending on the flexibility of your back, you can stay down here in a low cobra, you can come up to a medium height, or you can come all the way up into the full height of the cobra. Again, lifting the chin, rolling those shoulders back and down, opening up through the chest. All right, as we exhale, slowly releasing the belly down towards the floor, tucking the toes, pushing ourselves back up through a tabletop, up and back to downward facing dog. As we inhale, stepping the left foot forward again between the hands, coming back into that low lunge. Straight through the spine, open through the chest, lifting the chin. And as we exhale, stepping the right foot forward to meet the left, hinging forward from the hips, releasing the head down, releasing the torso down over the legs. Inhaling, rising up, bring the arms up overhead, and exhaling, bring the hands into the chest. All right, now if the breathing is a little bit difficult doing these sun salutations, do feel free to take an inhale and an exhale with each posture and just go at your own pace. All right, left side this time. Inhaling, arms rising up. Exhaling, hinging forward from the hips, releasing the torso down. Inhale, bring the left leg back, coming into that lunge. Exhale, right leg back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Holding the breath, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, drawing forward, coming up into the cobra. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping the right foot forward. Releasing the left knee down, coming into that low lunge. Exhale, coming forward into forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to chest. All right, so that is one round. We have 5 more to go. Again, just in your own time, if you need to take a break, take a break. You can lie down in shavasana and visualize doing the sun salutation if it's becoming too much. Those of you who are ready, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, right leg back. Exhaling, up and back, down facing dog. Hold the breath. Shoddanah, knees, chest, chin. Inhaling, bhu-jin, cobra. Exhale, Mukha sarvangasana, down facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Coming into that low lunge. Exhale, holding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, down facing dog. Hold the breath. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward. Low lunge. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart. Right, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, hold the breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling, exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, left leg back. Exhale, down facing dog. Hold the breath. Knees, chest, chin. Inhaling, cobra. Exhale, down facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, holding forward. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, inhaling. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, down facing dog. Hold the breath. Shoddanah. Inhale, do. Exhale, sarvangasana. Inhale, left foot forward, low lunge. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, hold the breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hold the breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Left foot forward, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. So we want to match our movement to our breath. Inhaling, up, exhaling, folding and forward. Inhaling, left foot back. Exhaling, coming back, holding the breath, releasing down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting up, cobra. Exhaling, up and back. Inhaling, right foot forward. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, exhaling. Right, last round, we'll slow this down a bit. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Hold the breath, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up to cobra. Exhale, up and back. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, up and back. Hold the breath, knees, chest, chin. Inhaling, cobra. Exhale, up and back. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, stepping forward. Inhale. Exhale. Pausing here for a moment. Feel the effects of the sun salutation. Feeling into the right and the left sides of the body. One more breath. All right. Stepping out to the long edge of your mat or jumping out. That's what you prefer. Now we want the distance between the feet to be the same length as one of your legs, so reasonably nice and wide. Turning the toes of the right foot out to 90 degrees, left foot coming in at a 45-degree angle, and slightly rolling out to the outside edge of that left foot. Right foot, we want to have the weight even between the heels and toes, slightly coming out onto the outside edge or back part of the foot and pressing down through the big toe of the right foot. Engaging the quadricep muscles, lifting the kneecaps on both legs, keeping the hips square to the front, placing the left hand into the small of the back, right hand on the right leg, rolling the shoulders back and down. With the left leg, we want to make sure that it's rotating through the hip socket and not just through the lower parts of the legs. Same with the right leg. Don't want to be having any twisting through the legs. We want it all to come from the hips. All right, once you feel settled and ready, inhaling to center, exhaling, releasing our right arm down our right leg, letting our torso follow that movement down. And we want to have that feeling of as if we're squeezing our body in between two walls or two panes of glass. We want it to be moving over to the right rather than forward. Once you find a comfortable spot where we've got a little bit of resistance, a bit of stretch but not any pain, we want to be sinking down through that right hip, sticking the left one out, finding a point of balance, either looking forward at a point on the wall, or if the balance is a little bit challenging today, you can look down at the right foot. But wherever you are, releasing the left arm up. You can also turn the head and look up towards the left arm. Feeling confident, the neck is okay, otherwise look straight forward and the head is alright as well. So in this position here, trikonasana, this is a really great asana for opening up the side body of the torso and of the legs. You also get a lovely stretch through this hamstring here. Opening up through the chest, rolling those shoulders back and down, making sure both arms are in alignment at shoulder height. Pushing forward with the left hip ever so slightly. One more breath. Bending through the right knee generously and drawing the torso back up to standing. Right, bring both toes forward. Rotating through the left leg this time, bringing that left foot out 90 degrees. Right foot coming in at that 45-degree angle. Right arm coming into the small of the back this time. Left hand on left leg. Making sure that we're rotating to those hip sockets, but squaring our hips towards the front edge of the mat. Rolling the shoulders back and down, nice and tall through the spine, head and neck. Once you feel ready, inhaling to center, exhaling, releasing down over the left leg now. Keep going until you find that nice point of resistance. Sinking down into the left hip, sticking the right hip out, but keeping that tailbone tucked in. Right, once you've found your balance, releasing the right arm up and finding your drishti point, your focus point, whether it's on the wall in front of you, down at the foot, or up at the arm. Right, one more breath. Bending through the left knee very generously, drawing the torso back up to standing, bringing both feet towards the front, releasing the arms down. Right, stepping the legs back together, give the legs a little shake if they need it, and just coming back down towards the mat now. So sitting down on your bottom, bending through the knees, and we'll bring our hands behind us, fingers pointing in towards the bottom, a few inches behind the bottom, feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart, rolling the shoulders back and down. As we inhale, pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet, and lifting the pelvis up, coming up to a reverse tabletop. Nice and strong through the shoulders, open through the chest. Squeezing the bottom, using the quadricep muscles. Pushing up and away off the mat. One more breath. And exhale, releasing back down. All right, this time we'll do that again, and we'll hold for a moment in the reverse tabletop. So taking one breath to prepare. Inhaling, pushing into the hands, pushing into the feet, lifting the pelvis up. Drawing those shoulder blades back and down, nice and open through the chest. We don't want to be sinking down through the chest. Keep breathing. Pushing that floor away. And releasing back down. All right, so we'll do this one more time. So you can stay in this reverse tabletop position. Or if you'd like to try, you can extend the legs long and keep the legs long. Otherwise, keep those knees bent. All right, taking one breath to prepare. If you're keeping the legs long, we want to be pushing the soles of the feet down towards the floor. We want to try and get the soles of the feet flat to the floor. If they're not completely flat, that's fine, but that's where we're aiming for. So we want to really be engaging through the leg muscles very strongly. And nice and strong through the chest, through the abdomen, through the shoulders. So reverse tabletop. Taking one breath to prepare. And as we inhale, pushing up through the hands, down through the legs, nice and strong through the chest. If you like, you can bring the head back, looking backwards. One more breath. And slowly releasing back down. All right, that's a pretty strong exercise. Exploring the east side of our body, the front side of our body. Also bring some strength into the shoulders and to the arms and to the legs. Now, if you wish, you can grab your strap. Keeping the legs long in front of us, you can place the strap around the feet if you need it. Otherwise, drawing the bottom back nice and tall through the spine, lifting up out of the sideways, front and back of the body, tall through the spine, head and neck, as if someone's lifting you up through the head with a piece of string, rolling the shoulders back down, engage through the leg muscles, flexing the toes back towards the body. Pausing here for a moment. Now as we inhale, drawing the arms up alongside the head, reaching up through the wrists and the fingertips. As we exhale, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine straight, drawing our arms forward, extending them forward towards the toes, and just placing the hands wherever they land. So whether that is on the thighs, the shins, you can place them down onto the mat, or if you can, reaching for the toes. The other option is to grab your strap, use your strap to encourage the sort of come forward a bit further. So wherever you are, spine nice and straight, legs nice and straight, pushing those feet into an imaginary wall. And always hinging from the hips, not from the upper back. You want the movement to be coming from the lower back, the hips, and extending along the backs of the legs. So this position here, we're looking at the west side of the body, the back side. One more breath here. Wherever you are, releasing the toes, releasing the feet, placing the hands down on the mat, and slowly releasing back up to sitting, walking the hands back. All right, if you're using the strap, take the strap and place that off to one side. So now we'll take a look at doing some inversions. So if you have done sarvangasana before, shoulder stand, feel free to go straight up into shoulder stand. If you haven't, I have a few other options for you. The first one is if your back is a little bit sore at the moment, and or if you've had a back injury in the past. The second one is if you're feeling confident in the back, but you don't want to go fully out into shoulder stand, you have an option here as well. So the first one, you're feeling a bit tight, is laying down on the back. Keeping the legs together, keeping the arms alongside the torso, placing the palms of the hands face down. And all we're going to do is keeping the legs zipped up, lifting the head, putting the chin to the chest as we draw our legs up towards the torso. Once we get up to about 90 degrees, you can place the head back down. And you can either stay here, or if you have the flexibility, drawing the legs a little bit closer towards the torso. Otherwise, straight up and down is fine. If this is a little bit exhausting for the legs, do feel free to hang on to the legs if you wish. Another option for this is a more restorative version, so placing a block in the small of the back, coming up into bridge, placing the block right by the sacrum, so the bony part of your lower back / bottom, more on the lower down to the bottom side, and then just lifting the legs up from there. Again, ideally, we want to be in that 90-degree angle. Again, you can hold onto the legs if you wish. So that's the first option there, just legs straight up. If your legs are straight up, then looking up towards the toes or looking at a point on the ceiling. The next option, if you don't want to come all the way up into shoulder stand, is we are going to just gently flick our legs up and catch them in our hands. So we want the palms of the hands into the small of the back, supporting the back and the palms of the hands, and the elbows will be down on the mat, creating a sort of a joust or support for the body. So to get into that position, what we'll do is legs long, arms alongside the body, tucking the chin into the chest ever so slightly, making sure the neck is long along the mat. And in both of these next two positions, it's really important that we're not turning the head left and right. So even though I'm talking to you, please don't look at the screen while you're doing this, just concentrate on what I'm saying to you. So long neck along the mat, and we're just going to flick our legs up and over, and bring our legs over top of our head, bring our arms into the small of the back, and we're going to press our hips back down into the hands. So when you're ready, taking one breath to here, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, flicking the legs up overhead, bring the hands into the small of the back, elbows down onto the mat, and we're just going to push that bottom back. So the bottom will be pressing down on top of the hands, hands supporting the bottom. And we're in this sort of like jackknife position, so the feet are coming over top of the head, but they're not fully up and down. Spine as well is on 5-degree angle, back 5-degree angle. So we're getting that feeling of inversion, but we're not being fully up to the shoulder stand, not fully up, having all of our weight coming down onto the shoulders. So this is a nice intermediate position to get used to this inversion. So this is the second option. And of course, you can always come down to either of this option, or just the legs straight up with the back on the floor. If you'd like to try a shoulder stand, all we need to do is just bring the legs forward again over top of the head. If you can, releasing the toes back down towards the mat. What we'll do is we'll extend the arms long behind us and just sort of shuffle shoulders in towards each other. We want to squeeze those shoulder blades in together. Keeping the elbows down on the mat, bringing the hands to the small of the back, bring the forearms up, and releasing the legs. We're going to lift the legs straight up, soles of the feet getting up towards the ceiling. Straightening up through the spine, straightening up through the legs. So you'll feel the weight of your body shift onto your shoulders. So we want the weight even between the tops of the arms, the shoulders, and the neck, but we don't want to be dumping all of our weight onto the neck. So if it's feeling like too much pressure, do bring the weight back a bit so that it's more even between the arms and the shoulders. Once you're more experienced, you can shift the weight a little bit further forward so that it's more even on all sides. But really it's just getting used to being in this upside down position. Again, keeping the chin tucked into the chest really helps with this positioning here. And flexing the toes back towards the head, lifting up and away through the heels, up towards the ceiling. Holding here in whatever position that you're in for 5 breaths. All right, one more breath. If you're in shoulder stand, slowly releasing the legs down over top of the head. If you're in the half shoulder stand, doing the same thing. If you already have your back down on the floor, just staying here for a moment while this does catch up to you. Pausing here with the toes on the floor, releasing the arms down towards the mat, and just slowly rolling the spine down with control if you can. So pausing here with the legs up in the air, readjusting your arms. And everyone lifting the head, bring the chin onto the chest, and we're going to slowly release the legs down with control. See how slowly you can go. Centimetre by centimetre. Once the heels touch the floor, releasing the head, releasing the shoulders down, letting the arms and legs roll away for a moment. Pausing here for a moment to let the body rebound. All right, when you're ready, rolling over onto your side, pressing yourself back up to a seated position. All right, now we're going to explore an inversion in the opposite, well, not opposite, similar but opposite. So coming into sirshasana, the headstand. If that's in your practice, feel free to go up into the headstand. If it's not in your practice, I have a couple of other options for you, like with the shoulder stand, we've got a prep position, we've got an intermediate position, and we've got the headstand itself. So if you're not familiar with doing any sort of inversions where your head is down and the bottom is up, for this position, what we'll do is we'll come into a tabletop position, underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and just bring the knees and the feet together, releasing our hips back to our heels, coming down to essentially a child's pose or an embryo pose. So releasing the forehead down towards the mat, and we'll draw our arms back so that the fingers and the toes are pointing in the same position. All right, if you can, bringing the palms of your hands onto the heels of the feet. And drawing the hips back again, lifting the head. We're going to draw our forehead closer to our knees so that we're coming more onto the crown of the head. Take one breath here. Right, as we inhale, we're just going to roll onto the top of the crown of the head and lifting the bottom up at the same time. And just rolling back so that our neck is nice and straight. So straight up and down. So this is a nice, easy inversion if you haven't done one before. So just getting that sensation of feeling like you're upside down. So you can stay here, or if you'd like to try, releasing the hands. We're going to draw the hands back to underneath the shoulders. So staying on the crown of the head. And just bring those hands back in between the shoulders and the knees, in the position between the shoulders and the knees. Just walking the knees out to about hip width apart. Tucking the toes. So again, you can stay here in this position. So this brings slightly more weight onto the head again. Again, making sure that that neck is straight up and down. So the position for the crown of the head is partway between the front of the head and the back of the head. You can roll the scalp back and forward, and you should find a point on the scalp that feels like it's in perfect balance between the front and the back. That's the position that you ideally want to be in. So again, you can stay here, getting used to that sensation on the head. If that feels comfortable, the next thing that we'll do is we'll start lifting the bottom up. So we want the weight even between the head and the hands. So at any point, if you don't feel safe, do please come straight back down. So inhaling, drawing the bottom up, walking the heels in towards the feet, bending the knees. We're just going to place the knees on the backs of the upper part of the arms. Again, you can stay here while you get used to that sensation. And of course, coming down whenever you feel ready. Now that you're in this position, you can play with lifting the feet off
So one at a time to begin with. Getting used to that change of sensation. Once you feel comfortable, drawing the bottom back towards the back of the room. This will enable you to lift both feet off, keeping the knees bent, keeping the arms bent, and you can just play with that sensation there. If you feel like coming down, bring the knees down towards the mat. And when you're ready, dropping back into that embryo pose, into that child's pose, coming off the crown of the head, forehead down to the mat. And you can release the arms as well. Staying there. So if both of those positions feel fine, we can try doing some prep for headstand, sirshasana. So keeping the knees bent. Just lifting up off the mat for a moment. What we'll do is we'll bring the forearms down to just in front of the knees. And we're going to bring the right hand into the inside of the left elbow, left hand to the inside of the right elbow, crossing the forearms over like this. Placing them down right in front of your knees. And then without moving the elbows, releasing the forearms, bring the palms of the hands together. Interlacing the fingers, bringing the pinky fingers down towards the mat. And opening the hands up so that you can see a space between hands. Right, in this space, we're going to place the back of our head. So placing the head, back of the head into the palms of the hands, coming up onto the crown of the head. So we want to push, when we're in this position, as we lift our bottom up, we want to push down through the shoulders, down through the elbows, and down to the forearms. So we want to be pushing up through those arms to take the pressure off the head. Again, if this doesn't feel comfortable, do come back to the child's pose and try some of those alternative postures. So again, getting used to being up onto the crown of the head, and this one is really important to keep the neck straight. So having the hands into the crown, into the back of the head, helps to remind us to keep our neck straight, as well as finding that perfect position between the forehead and the back of the head. When you're ready, pushing down through the shoulders, through the elbows. As we inhale, lifting the bottom up, coming up onto the toes. And we're just going to walk our toes in. So just staying in this position, feeling comfortable here. Lifting up onto the toes, releasing down, lifting up onto the toes, releasing down. And when you're ready, coming back down. Releasing the hands, drawing the bottom back towards the heels. Releasing the arms alongside the legs. Pausing here for a moment, allowing the body to rebound. All right. Pressing yourself back up. Releasing down to the bottom. Extending the legs long. Placing our hands underneath our bottom. Sitting on our hands essentially. Bending at the elbows. We're going to release the elbows down towards the mat. Tucking those elbows in underneath the body. Lifting up through the chest, bringing an arch into the back. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, squeezing the arms together. Staying engaged through the legs, flexing the toes up and back. And you can either keep looking at your toes, or if the neck is okay, drawing the neck and the head back, looking back to the back of the room. Matsyasana, the fish pose, is an excellent counter pose to do after doing inversions. One more breath here. If the head is back, drawing the eyes and the head back forward, looking towards the toes. Pushing up through the elbows and the forearms, lifting the torso back up to the seated position. And preparing ourselves for shavasana. So if you need, popping some extra layers on, hold where you are, popping a blanket on perhaps. So having the legs hip width apart, drawing the big toes in towards each other, having the arms alongside the hips. When you're ready, pushing up through the hands, drawing the bottom up of the mat and back through the arms. Bring the fingertips to touch and releasing the spine back down. So vertebra by vertebra, releasing spine down along the mat. Once the shoulders touch the floor, releasing the hands. Tucking the chin into the chest ever so slightly, extending the back of the neck along the mat, and allowing the legs and the arms to roll away, palms face up. Finding a spot on the ceiling to focus on, and then softening the focus on that spot on the ceiling. And closing the eyes. Drawing your mind into the breath now. Breathing in through the nose, back of the throat, down into the lungs. Out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. Take 5 breaths like this. Slowing the breath down. Slowing the body down. One more breath. Beginning to wriggle the fingers and the toes. And when you're ready, rolling over onto your right side. Pausing here for a moment. And when you're ready, pushing yourself back up to a seated position. So if you want a cushion to sit on, find a cushion to sit on, or you can also sit on a blanket if you wish. So getting ourselves ready for our pranayama today, nadi shoddanah. So for nadi shoddanah, we will be alternating between our right and our left nostrils. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. You can either just use your right and your left hand closing off the nostrils. The ideal hand position doesn't matter whether it's the right or the left hand. We want to have the index finger and middle finger pressing into the eyebrows, third eye. And we want to use our right thumb and our pinky finger to be alternating with the nostrils. Some people don't like to have fingertips in the eyebrows, so they do more of a position like this, where the thumb is sticking out, and they just alternate. Sometimes the arms can feel a bit tired being like this all the time, so you can also place a hand underneath your armpit to support the arm, to rest the arm on. So as you progress through this, just feel into what feels most comfortable for you. You always want to be in the most comfortable position. So we'll take a few normal breaths before we start nadi shoddanah. So rolling the shoulders back and down, nice and relaxed, hands on the knees or hands into the lap. Inhaling through both nostrils. Exhaling. Inhaling in your own time. One more breath like this. Right, getting ready for nadi shoddanah, so choosing your hand position. I'm going to do the fingers into the eyebrow center. So breathing in through the left nostril first. So breathing in, we'll do a count of 3. Closing off the left nostril, opening up the right, and breathing out through the right. Breathing in through the right. Closing off the right, opening the left. So we're toggling in between each nostril, in one nostril, out the other, in that nostril, out the other. So just in your own time, just move from side to side. Also using your own breath count. So if 3 feels a little too short to you, do whatever feels most comfortable. A 5 breath count is ideal, but just again, just using the breath count that feels most comfortable. So inhaling through the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. In your own time and your own pace.
Make this your last round. Dropping the hands, taking a few breaths through both nostrils. Right, to close the practice, we will chant the full shaan-tih-hi. Taking one breath to here, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling for the shaan-tih-hi. Asato-ma sadgamaya, tamaso-ma jyotirgamaya, vichur-ma amritramgamaya, sarvesham svaste bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sagandim Pushtivaranam Udvarukaviva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva, tvameva bandhush sakata tvameva, tvameva vidyam pravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Pausing here to let the mantra wash over you. Close the practice. We will chant Om 3 times, taking one inhale through here and exhale. Inhaling for Om. Bring the hands to the heart center. rubbing the palms of the hands together to create a bit of heat. Placing the palms of the hands over the eyes, looking into the palms of the hands. Placing the hands over the cheeks and the face. And placing the hands over the throat and the neck. Placing the hands together again, create some heat. Pulling back to the hands, fingers and thumbs, wrists, forearms. Placing the hands back into the heart center. Thank you for joining me for this practice today. I hope you enjoyed exploring the different sides of the body as well as the inversions. Thank you for joining me here for this online class. If you'd like to support me in making more of these videos, then head over to my Patreon site, patreon.com/shanti-hi. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hari Om Tat Sat.